Hello. Hi. Hello. Hello and hi. And hi and hello. Uh, did I know Crispy Parsnips is live? I did not. Oh, well, that's going to be a clash of scheduling then. Also, question: is the Drawthrough going to happen on Saturdays from now on? Because RPGs are eventually going to start happening again. Yeah, I don't know. I might move it back to Tuesdays. We'll see. Just for the moment, it's Saturdays. I think once I get into a rhythm of things, it shouldn't be too bad it being on Tuesdays. But yeah, I can't remember why we moved it now. But things will sort themselves out. It'll be fine. Yeah. Hi. Oh, we moved it so that we could do the. No, that's not why we moved it. I don't know. 16 symbols. Yeah, I thought that's why it was, but then we did those on Sunday, so I don't really know. Something along those lines. Anyway, hi Chib, how you doing? I see you've jumped into the locked already. That's always that's a good start. Hi. Before we go any further, I'd just like
to open the doors. They're tightly sealed.
They're tightly sealed. Yes. Yeah. So about an hour before we started, I realized I don't know what music to play in the background of these streams because the soundtrack to this game has lots of licensed music in it, as did the original. But yeah, so I'm just going to play the Grim Fandango soundtrack because it's kind of close. Not really, but it's the closest I've got. And it's a good soundtrack, so you can't complain. No louder than that. I'm just going to be talking over the top of it. It's fine. Two ashes, indeed.
This little light of mine.
There is a bit in the game where somebody picks up a guitar and starts playing a song. I might change that to this little light of mine, but we'll see. We'll see when we get there. So yeah, we're doing Bioshock Infinite. Let's hop over to the thing. Bioshock Infinite. Careful there, you're going to get covered up by plants. For those of you who are unaware, we do this thing called a draw-through. There are several different types, but this sort of type is without looking anything up, attempts to recount the story of a game while drawing as many of the important things as possible as we go. This time we're doing Bioshock Infinite because several reasons. One, Bioshock Infinite was like my first modern game, I would say. There was this sort of sea change in games where they started becoming more quote-unquote cinematic. Sorry, quote, cinematic, unquote. And Bioshock Infinite was my first of those. I stopped playing video games for a very long time, and Infinite was the first one that sort of drew me back in, because it's weird. And I like weird. And so I have a soft spot for this. Having then gone back and played the original Bioshock, I think the original's better. But I still have I've got a poster of this on my wall. Because there's some very nice art that somebody did. But don't worry, you don't need to know anything about Bioshock 1. I think one of the reasons this is called Bioshock Infinite is it's not a sequel. So, well, it's not really a sequel. We'll get to that. But you don't need to know anything about the original going into it. Maybe it's nice to know that the original is about a weird city in a weird place run by a weird person. And you get there from a lighthouse. There's parallels. Anyway, so yeah, you don't need to know anything about that. We're doing Infinite because, again, it's sort of close to my heart. But also... also it has a story, which Bioshock Infinite doesn't really. Sorry, Bioshock 1 doesn't really have a sort of story. It has a world and world building and backstory, but not a lot happens. It's mostly like there are 3 events in Bioshock, and they're all interspersed with gameplay. Bioshock Infinite has at least 5 events, so we're fine. It tries to introduce characters that actually interact with one another. What a shock. But the other reason we're doing Bioshock Infinite is because I think the story it's trying to tell is interesting, but I think the way it tried to tell it has not aged well. So, and I'm not really the sort of person to do it. Like, I'm not going to sit down here and do a full AU of it because due to my demographic, I'm not really the sort of person who should just be espousing opinions on this. I feel like it's more appropriate for a collective chat. Hello Nikiro, hello Dark, welcome. I'm introducing the GAM. Yeah, so there are themes in this game that are explored and might not be explored in ways that nowadays seem particularly tasteful, but we'll get there. But if you think, oh no, this is going to be a game that's, it's going to be all horrible and talking about politics and things and stuff like that, there's going to be some of that. But remember, I like it, so it's goofy. There's lots of goofy stuff in this. There's always two concurrent storylines in a Bioshock game. One is goofy and one is serious, and the goofy one always wins out. So yeah. What could you possibly mean? Got a blanket, ready to cause chaos. Fantastic. So yeah, that's why we're doing Bioshock Infinite. Speaking of causing chaos, we are going to need some information up front. I think I've already chatted about this a little bit. Due to the way the game likes to do its story, I'm going to need, traditionally in these sorts of draw-throughs, chat names everything. Yeah, even the serious one has goofy bits, very much so. And there's always sci-fi shenanigans and stuff, which I wasn't going to spoil at the beginning of this, but then I realized it's literally the first thing you see in the game. So, you're filled with rage at the constant dodging on 90% attacks in Wildermyth. It inherited that from XCOM, I see. You propose we name the protagonist Jack Walters for no particular reason. Yeah, we were having a chat about this before, and I remarked that the main character of this game is sort of generic video game man. And Chibi suggested that it's like Jack from Call of Cthulhu, and then I realized a lot of this game does really just involve trying to unlock a door. And it being very awkward to unlock the door, so you have to go through a lot of things to unlock the door. But, yeah. The name just came to you. I know, it's a surprise. Yeah, so I'm gonna need some bits and bobs. I'm gonna need, before we go anywhere, literally before I can do anything, I'm gonna need the main character's name. So yeah. Protag name. This is a little bit of background on the protagonist. He is a man. He's generic video gamesman, but it's turn of the 20th century America. So if you want to use that as an influence, you're more than welcome to. We're also going to need a feminine first name. We're going to need an initial. I advise you don't pick anything too exotic because you're going to have to work with that initial later. A surname. And a random number between 1 and 100. That one's just for fun, but we will need it. John Everyman. The J names continue. Or Jack Everyman. Generic male protagonist number 7. I am, for various reasons, going to need at least a first name and a surname. Fill in as many middle names as you wish. Yeah, the game likes to set things up, and so I'm going to have to try and get this information ahead of time in such a way that it's not obvious that I'm going, this is going to be important later. Jack, generic protagonist, Walters. Are we going with that? JGPW? Jug Pow to his friends. 47? That's the 8. Okay, we're not doing Hitman yet, but sure, we'll go 47. So we've got a Hitman reference, we're going to have a Call of Cthulhu reference. All you can think about is their actual names. Yeah, that's the issue. Are we going to go with Jack GP Walters? I don't mind. Jack. I don't know why I'm putting that in quotes. GP Walters. Okay, now we need a feminine first name, an initial, and a surname. Not necessarily related. Good with Jack Walters? Like I say, if you choose the initial X, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot a bit, but that's up to you. There's a weird way to start the draw through, I know, but I do need this stuff. So, hang on, while we're doing that, let me draw the first scene. Sort of. That doesn't make any sense. Go like that, I guess. Initial C for crispy and nice cock. C, we can go C. F. F or C? FC. NC. It's going to have to be a single initial, I'm afraid. Well, again, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot if you take more than one. We've got 2 votes for F. Well, that might just been Kiro pressing F to pay respect. Also, I thought after this, if people enjoy this a little bit, we could play the DLC on stream, because it turns out I never played the DLC. You're good with F? Press F to pay respects. Okay, we'll go with F. Feminine first name and surname. Lady name Berry, because it's the first one you just saw in your game. We're going Berry. Meanwhile, I will draw a lighthouse, because how else will a Bioshock game start? Here's a question. Is there a light in this lighthouse? I don't remember there being a light in this lighthouse. Anyway, we'll get to that. Barry? No, Barry. It is a very cute name. Yeah. Cool. Barry. And surname. We'll say there's a light. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
The trapdoor is stuck.
The trapdoor is stuck. Yeah, so now all we need is a surname. Now I've got to draw a boat with people in the boat. Oh, God. I keep forgetting about draw-throughs. You've got to draw stuff. That's the main problem. Locksman? Okay. That's going to get slightly confusing later, but we'll go with it. By the way, just by show of hands, how many of you actually know the story to Bioshock Infinite? And by a show of hands, I mean whatever. I don't know who sits where. Doesn't matter. Is this the start of Remnant? This came first, I guess. This game came out in 2013, I think. So like 9 years old-ish? 8, 9 years old. You expected serious answers. That was your mistake. That's fair. You don't know everything, but you know a fair amount. you know most of the main plot. That's fair. You're probably there'll be enough people in chat to correct me when I evidently miss something very important now. Okay, we have the basic information. So the game begins. We can actually start now. The game begins. Screen goes black after you press start game, and you hear a woman's voice, and you know it's a woman's voice because the subtitles say "woman's voice." And it says, or they say, she says, "Jack, are you afraid of God?" To which presumably Jack responds, "No, but I am afraid of you." At that point, or well, he says, "No, but I'm afraid of you," in that generic American voice. Jamaican? No, that sounds like Jamaican. You know nothing, you have nothing, your brain is a smooth surface. Marvelous. I think generican could work. Generican. Just sort of nondescript. I was about to say you can't place where it comes from, but the game does explicitly say that this takes place in Maine. Anyway, so that happens. You then see a title card with some text on it, as makes, well, not a title card, a text card, whatever, which is an excerpt from a book. The excerpt says something a lot. I should probably have remembered the exact wording, but it says something along the lines of the brain will attempt to create memories where none previously existed. And the quote is attributed to a book called Barriers to Transdimensional Travel, I think, by F. Loxman. Good to know. And then the game starts. And you find yourself in a boat on a stormy day, heading towards a lighthouse. Here we are. We're in the back. Not really knowing what's going on. Gotta remember how to draw things, like anything. You don't know what's happening. You're in a boat. What's going on? Did you decide on a style? No, we're just going with it. We're going with brush too big. Let's make the lines work somehow. Whatever it turns out to be. I do know one of the characters we're going to meet is going to have very big eyes. That's about as far as I thought ahead. Notice this doesn't look like you dressing up as a generic male protagonist. Yes, I told Chib about Dark's suggestion of the style for this game. Again, it's going to get confusing. Some of the characters in this game look quite similar. How to draw? How to draw. It doesn't really matter too much. He says, carrying on. I'll get used to it. It'll be fine. For some reason you're saying Big Eyes brought you back to Death of Seven playthrough. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Well, into the pain floral, Jesse. Well, I'll try not to replicate that if at all possible. Anyway, we're in a boat. We don't row. We'll get to that. We have a little box on our lap. There it is. This is a first-person game, so it's going to be a bit weird drawing this character so many times. Got like a jacket on, and there's some straps that I think are holsters, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with the belts. Random belts, why not? That's how you design characters in video games. Gotta get the stubble in there. Oh, and for various reasons that have to do with the game's general theme, I am going to be shading some things as I go along. That might seem like a weird thing to say, but if I introduce this concept early, it won't be awkward later, okay? That's all I want to say. Meanwhile, in the boat with us are two other people who we don't really see very clearly, because they're wearing raincoats and big hats. They're wearing those sort of like yellow... how do you draw them? Sort of yellow, waterproof sort of hats. And big old... big old yellow waterproofs. But we hear them talking. They're chatting between one another. Almost arguing, not really. Not doing your suggestions, sorry. I'm trying to think of Jack's face, but you can think it's generic male protagonist face. It's interesting, because if you look at the cover art, he actually looks like an ex-door neighbor I used to have. Generic man. But then if you look at like the character model in-game, because while it's a first-person game, the character model is there. And you do see it at certain points. It doesn't look anything like the front cover at all, but it still looks like generic man. They're wearing paper hats. They're wearing waterproof paper hats. Don't worry about it. They are disguised. However, it becomes pretty clear pretty soon that the one at the front who is not rowing is female, and the one between the two of you is male. And they have quite posh British accents, which, given that the title card that comes up while this is happening is Maine 1918, I think? The 1918? Very early 20th century. It's a bit odd that the first people you should see should have English accents, but yeah. He's so generic that even the game artists don't know what he looks like. Exactly, yeah. Does Jack even have a face? I think that would fit the theme of Bioshock 1 more than Infinite, but the theme of Infinite would be he would have quite a few faces, but we'll get to that. I miss Drawthroughs when I can say we'll get to that. It's been a while, hasn't it? Now I've got to draw somebody rowing. I mean, I don't have to. I've chosen to. Yeah, I should also specify that the main character of Bioshock 1 is called Jack, so... You've got your paper hat as well. There we are. I should probably mention what they're actually talking about. Everyone knows that everyone who lived from before the 1950s had a heavy, posh British accents. You think so based on every period drama. If it's a period drama, you have to hire British actors, because the past was British. The past was owned by Britainland. Everybody knows this. It's got nothing to do with the fact that we helped make the films that shaped your opinion of what the past was. We also invented villains. No, oars go this way, don't they? They go into the water. Traditionally, oars go into the water. Yeah, I should probably specify what this conversation is. It's not entirely intelligible what's going on in the conversation. It's not really supposed to be, because it's a bit of a sort of like fish out of water thing. But basically, the woman's refusing to row. And I think the words that she uses is, I said I refuse to take part in this exercise. To which the man says, there's a lot of lines in this, in Bioshock games in general, which kind of clobber you around the head as like, you know, we're trying to make this memorable. But one of the lines I do remember from this conversation is, the man says, one undertakes an experiment knowing that one could fail. And the woman says, yes, but one does not undertake an experiment knowing that one has failed. Which makes no sense. So we're in Paris. British! We'll get to that. What? What's when? Good question. This just got some newspaper print on this. Meanwhile, you've got your little box of goodies. What's in the box? Good question. In the box, you have... Love the writing in these games. There's some good lines. I think the Bioshock 1 probably has more quotable lines, but they certainly try in this one, and I've never played 2. I should play 2 at some point. So in your box, here is the lid, because that's vitally important to how boxes work. You find a few things. I've just realised one of them's a gun. I'm going to have to draw a gun now. Rather drew myself into that corner, didn't I? It's a revolver, so... How do gun? That's sort of how gun. I think the barrel's probably a bit too close to the trigger there. It's a very short revolver. Don't worry about it. There's a thing like that. Is that yeah, because then you've got to put your thumb on it, right? I don't know how to gun. If British people knew how to do gun, we'd probably still own the present. Whatever. It's doesn't, like, you'll see why I'm not particularly attached to drawing this well. It's a very short revolver. When you hold it like a normal person, you're automatically shooting up. Don't worry about it. It's fine. This is a gun. There's a piece of paper with a weird message on it. Now these symbols are important. I've forgotten what they are. There's some keys. Crossed keys. Can anyone remember what the other symbols were? They're not that important to the plot necessarily, but they do come up. A bell? I can't remember what they are. Some keys, sword, bell. No, because the bells are... We're going to deal, like, the rule number 1 for draw-throughs. If I can't remember, make it up. So I'm going to say, I think one of them's a sword. It's like a saber, maybe? You'll have the note just
It won't
pictures.
budge. I'll need to find another way in.
There we go. And then something else. We're going to need another object. Which will come up later. Probably later this stream. And then I will never mention it again. Why can't I remember what these... Piece of gum? Okay. Sure. And like a sort of ripped open packet of gum, a bit sticking out. It is a scroll. There is a scroll. I'm going to replace the sword with the scroll. The scroll makes more sense. See, Kiro knows. Shock, surprise. Nobody saw that coming. Kiro knows things. Who'd have thought? Oh wait, hang on. Kiro knows everything. We know this. Right, so you have cross keys, scroll, and stick of gum. Underneath these are numbers. I don't know, 2, 1, 3. Sure. There is also a sword. Okay, I got that right at least. Glad you raised the sword and the piece of gum. Just look. I'll keep the silly. This is the philosophy of the draw through. You keep the silly things. Yeah. Okay. There's that. What else is there? There is a picture of a young woman, girl. I have no idea how old she is actually. Now I think about it. Oh god, now I've got to draw this. This is. How? I should have paid attention to the hair. There's so many things I should have thought about while playing the game again. I just remember this character has uncharacteristically big eyes. She's either 10, or if she's his kid, or 20 if she's his lover. We'll say 15. I have no idea. How old is she? It's actually, I guess it's, I don't think we ever find out, but I guess you could extrapolate for various reasons. Also, you're forgetting 400 if they are an immortal fae creature who happens to look like a child in a Japanese anime. I really did give her massive eyes, didn't I? Well, we're dealing with it now. She's holding some books. I think the more detail I try to add to this face with massive eyes, the worse it looks. So we're just going to leave it like that. She's at least 18. Okay. Oh, yeah. There is a thing we'll probably... Will I mention that? It's not important, but it is disgusting. And I feel like it adds something to the horror of various situations. Anyway, there's a little card, and on the card, on this picture, at least 18. I'm going to say definitely not a child. We'll stick with that. From that point on, I don't think it matters a great deal. But yeah. Horror so bad it killed stream. I'm still here, aren't I? I'm still broadcasting at very least. Twitch, what are you doing? I think she's got some of his hair coming. That feels better. I mean, the face is still the face, but yeah. I'm still here. Hi. Yeah. So we have this photograph, and on the back of the photograph, I've written the very important lines. Bring us the girl and wipe away the dead. You'll hear me say that quite a lot during this. But yeah, that is our opening instruction for the game. Bring us the girl and wipe away the dead. Debt. As in a debt to pay. Debit. I don't think we learned the character's name yet, but it won't be long. It's just the girl for now. There's something else in this, isn't there? I think that's the important stuff. I'm probably forgetting something. Girl and wipe away the debt. I thought it was a bit early to stick zombies onto us. Are there zombies in this game? No. A key, you think? Like a physical one? There is. Good point. Yes, we do need that. So, yeah, down here is a key. That does make sense, actually. as I was
I won't
playing
be
this.
able to open it from this side.
Yeah, I did wonder where we got that key from. Turns out it was in the box. We had it from the start. Anyway, here's a key. Got a kind of weird mechanism on the end. And on the top, it has a picture of A or B. Flip a coin, heads or tails. B is a picture of a cage. I had to draw one side. We'll see the other side soon. Like a bird cage sort of thing. Yeah, so that's what's in the box. Those are our instructions. Keys, scrolls, and gum. A sawn-off revolver. Bring us the girl, wipe away the debt, and cage key. It's Dark Souls. We're going to Sen's Lighthouse. So, Jack G.P. Walters is heading towards a lighthouse in this boat with two British people having a pseudo-argument. Yeah. So we head to... It's a stormy day. I should probably also specify that. It's a stormy one. Can I... my lines are very bad. No, buttons! How did I even do that? I need to go faster than this. This game's going to take bloody ages if I actually care about every picture I draw. It's gonna be better. It's gonna be good enough. Stormy day. Not that storm. Or that stormy. Any questions so far? I mean, there should be. It's a Bioshock game, but... Sorry, I have a slightly different setup for computer stuff so that I don't end up getting a cramp in my lower back. And I'm still getting used to it a little. That one really gets a lot of airplay, I see that. Radish, quite a lot. Radish, beetroot, whatever it may be. Yeah, so it's 1918, we're off the coast of Maine, we got a box with some stuff, and we're heading towards a lighthouse. Simple enough. Right, storm clouds, why not? So... we then get there, which is handy, if you want to go somewhere. Do I need to draw the arrival? Not really. We arrive, we get up, we clamber up onto the dock with our box full of stuff. I don't think we take the box. We just take the stuff. We clamber up onto the dock and then the boat rows away. And we call out, Jack calls out and says, "Oi, you coming back?" To which they respond, "Hopefully." We do hope so. It'd be awful to be stranded out here. I think that's the line. Leaving us to go up into the lighthouse. So there's a couple of things you see when you go into the lighthouse. When Jack goes into the lighthouse, this is no longer choose your own adventure. This is But there will be a couple of little choose your own adventure things early on, because the game likes to seed certain things, but only if you find there's little secrets that you can see that kind of tell bits of the story early, and I'm going to give you some choices as to where you want to go. And if you miss the stuff, you miss the stuff. But we'll get there. We're still in the lighthouse. So we're going to the lighthouse. There's a couple of things that are worth looking at. First is... Actually, isn't there a note written on the door? I can't remember what that says. Probably says, bring us the girl and wipe away the debt or something. First of all, there's a pillar in the middle of a room with a sink. Why is that important? Because it's metaphorical, you see. It's a little tap or something. A sink in the pillar. I don't know how the plumbing of this place works. Also, there's no one here. This is an empty... well, I guess we'll get to that. There's a lot of stuff sort of scattered around, but generally speaking, there's not a lot here. There is, however, a little sign above the sink. A little embroidered sign. Bit of embroidery. It's always nice. That kind of home sweet home looking thing. And it reads, of thy sins I shall wash thee. Our first indication that the story of this game might possibly touch on some religious overtones. With what water pillar sink? There's nowhere there's plumbing in the pillar. Look, there's a pipe goes down here, and then there's like a rug here, where the pipe goes under the rug. Why is this the least believable thing in the game so far? A tripping hazard. It's 1918! Health and safety hadn't been invented yet. Anyway, patented crispy head-through door. Drawing. Has Jack snarkily remarking at the sink. Yeah, good luck with that, pal, basically. He does not think too highly of piousness, let's say. Or at the very least, he doesn't think too highly of his own piousness. Stubble. Why is it every sort of chisel-jawed man I attempt to draw turns out looking like Jacob? I don't know. Cross between Jacob and Brad. Whatever Brad looked like. Does he say good luck, pal, because he's full of sin, or does he say that because he thinks the plumbing is... I mean, he might have been a plumber at some point. He's done a lot of odd jobs as Jack. Jack of all trades. Master of, we'll get to that. That's not the door, is it? Excuse me. There we go. Don't worry about it, it's magical. This lighthouse is mysterious. I can't even remember what I've drawn. Close enough. You know what I said. We're just gonna make Jack a salty plumber. Or plumper. Even better. Salty plumper. That's a fun profession. Oh, now Freyman's here. Hi, Fredman. Are you a salty plumber, Freyman? You having a look at my stream's wet works, are you? Honestly. Anyway, he comes in. Another thing that's also in this building is a dead body, which I should probably draw. I think it's on a different floor technically, but it's here now. It's got a sack over its head. It's probably looking down, to be honest. Let's bring it into view. Happy turnip. Why is a sack over his head? Dead body. Trigger warning for dead bodies. This is not a happy game. And in fact, there's going to be a lot of trigger warnings in this game. Are you triggered by social injustice? Don't watch this. I don't know what the body's wearing, it's just a body. It does have, however, sort of a bit of a wet hole in the head. And I believe a little sign hanging around its neck. It says something along the lines of, do not disappoint. So this whole debt thing seems a bit serious. Wearing shoes. Don't worry about it. Dead body. No perspective. Don't worry about it. Yep, that's the appropriate reaction. That guy's completely unrelated. We just happened to pick the same lighthouse to do our stuff. This is what you get for co-sharing a space. Co-sharing? Sharing, I guess. What did you do before the start of this game? We'll get to that. A wet hole. It might not be wet anymore. It was definitely wet once. I have no idea what shoes Jack is wearing. But yeah, you see that. You go upstairs. I think there's some more embroidered messages that are vaguely faith-related. And then you make your way up to the top of the lighthouse, where you find a big old door. There's no point drawing Jack in front of the door. I'll just draw the segment of the door that's important. You at the top where the light should be, you find a door leading in. In front of it are some symbols above some bells. This is why I was thinking of bells. Like this. They sure love their embroidery. Yeah. Symbol number 1 is a pair of crossed keys. Bet you can't guess what the other two are.
Click the bell to turn on notifications. It really helps out the channel.
Don't forget to lick and subscribble. That's definitely a pair. Look at that symmetry. No, that's Bioshock 1. There is a scroll. I'm gonna make a lot of references to Bioshock 1, even though this game has nothing to do with Bioshock 1 apart from we're in a lighthouse. And then there's a pack of chewing gum. If you've just joined the stream, don't worry about it.
Smash that like button. Break it so no one else can like.
Yeah, if you hate it so much, destroy the like button so it's impossible for anybody to like it hereafter. Yeah, so you got this, and Jack looks at his magical box of goodies, sees the card and goes, oh, I better ding the bell. Ding the bells, the number of times that are on the card. I'll be honest, I don't know why this is in the game, because this sort of mechanic doesn't ever come up again. But hey, ding the bells. We then ding the bells. I can't remember, what did I write on the thing? 213.
Also follow me on Twitter. @HazelSpeaksTruth.
Nice. Is that a Twitter account? Let's find out. It is not. We could make it. What am I doing? Right, cool. Twitter account for Hazel is just incorrect pronunciation facts. Yeah, so you ding the bell. So you go, was it 213? I think I said 213. So you ding this one twice, ding ding. Ding ding. Then you ding this one once, ding. And then you ding this one thrice, ding ding ding. Then the lighthouse dongs those louder, basically. So you go ding 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 ding, and the lighthouse goes dang dang dong dang dang dang, like that. It echoes out throughout the big old vast openness of the ocean coast. You can see Maine. We're not too far away from the coast. At that point, actually, let's go back to this. At that point, you might be thinking of a bell tower, not a lighthouse. You might not be thinking of the sky, because then the sky responds with like foghorns going bwah, bwah, echoing the rhythm that we just did. Just big red lights emanating from the clouds. Bwah, bwah, like that. I'm glad I had this separate layer. It works quite well. Bwah. I'm having fun. God, is that you? If so, can you shut up? Yeah. And with the response, the door opens. And we wander into where the light should be. Wherein, I think there is a light. It just sort of folds away. Sort of mechanical mechanism, it just sort of folds away. And in its place, a chair springs up. Kind of a nice looking chair. It's padded. Oop, whoops. Give me my colours back. Good enough. Got nice little padding on it. Looks comfy. The chair. This is the worst lighthouse. But apparently it can communicate with God, so it's not that bad. Yeah, this just sort of folds up from the floor in sort of weird mechanical, sort of clockwork fashion. And you're just in this sort of slightly claustrophobic lighthouse situation. Going, I should stop saying you. It's Jack. Jack is doing this. This is not a silent protagonist. This is definitely a character called Jack. Also, it's going to be really weird because I haven't finished my playthrough yet to remind myself of everything in the game. So it's going to be weird going back and he's not called Jack. But don't worry about it. Got big hands, Jack. This isn't Bioshock. Oh, this isn't Dishonored. This is Bioshock. He's just touching his nose. He's like, something smells weird. Salty sea air. He's not that happy. Sort of wearing, I'm not entirely sure what it is he's wearing, sort of a neckerchiefy sort of thing. The collar and then like a leather waistcoat jacket thing. I guess this is the first time I've drawn the character standing up, so I should probably give some sort of detail. Or detailed standing up, anyway. And then he's wearing like a... I was looking at this while I was trying to work out how on earth to draw the character, and I'm like... So he's wearing like a white shirt, which is this collar sticking up. But then on top of that, he's wearing a black shirt, which is this. But on top of that, he's wearing like a mini leather jacket thing. With the little neckerchief, what's it? And then holsters for something, probably the gun. Don't know what else you put in a holster. This is gun. Don't worry about it. He appears to be wearing a shirt over a shirt, or he's just wearing like a collar. Because I know back in the day people used to wear like detachable collars. Oh yeah, he is also doing that whole thing of like everything's pushed up to the elbow. Pushed up to the elbow with a leather jacket. That's uncomfortable. It seems... I'm not sure whether the jacket has sleeves, I'll be honest. That might just be the shirt. It might be like a leather waistcoat thing. But waistcoat jacket. It's a weird outfit. I don't know what they wore in the 1918s. 1918s? I'm pretty sure there was only one of those. He has layers. Again, you don't really see it in the game because it's a first-person game. But I have to draw it, so... Don't worry about the shoes, they're there too. The multiple 1918s. It's like that theory about the Middle Ages or the Dark Ages, where actually there was a period of time that didn't exist. It's like that with the 1918s, but there are actually several. They want you to think that the First World War was quite short, but it actually lasted like a decade. Anyway, we're in here now. And there being no obvious thing to do, other than, you know, just stand around like a lemon, which, I mean, let's face it, Jack kind of is. You get in the chair. What else is there? Why wouldn't you? You know? A weird mystical magical chair has just appeared in your room. It's not mystical magical, it's mechanical. It folded up and everything. So you get in the chair. I guess I probably should have drawn him in the chair to start with. But okay, now we're here. He's still there, don't worry. So he sits in the chair. But this is just a prologue. How much of this am I going to draw? I said this wouldn't take long. Story hasn't started yet, and I'm still bloody drawing this. We've been going for an hour. I hate... He's got one of those collars, which I think look cool, but are just an absolute pain to draw, where it goes down normally, and then it gets to the front, and then it sticks up. It's like, ah. I took the cover out with Jack, and yes, my descriptions are very accurate. He really, on the cover art, he really looks like one of my old next-door neighbours. He used to work at a lemonade factory, and that sounds like something that a kid would make up. But he actually did, and he used to bring us lemonade. As you can tell, I still haven't decided on a art style for this. I do this to myself. I do indeed. That's what I liked about Chibi's Belgariad draw through. Is you only drew the things that mattered. You set the scene and then you did everything else with words. I wish I could learn that restraint. I forgot this track was on the the soundtrack. This gonna come a little bit later, but I don't know why you're sitting up so straight. Relax a bit, Jack. Relax. Use words! Never. There will be many words in the draw through to come, don't worry about that. Anyway. So he sits in the chair, and obviously, as chairs tend to, shackles snap up over his wrists. So he can't move anymore. That's fun, isn't it? Jack! It's a drawing, that's not how perspective works. There we are, that's a bit better.
I can't open them.
Thank you, Automod, for not permitting the word numpty. Such a heinous word. Don't bother drawing the soles of shoes. You have limited time. Right. So he gets in the chair, it snaps those things, and then it does something really weird, which is it goes up like, I don't know why this happens. It goes up like this. Yep. It then goes up like that, and just sort of shakes him around a little bit. In doing so, his gun falls out of the holster. Stub-nosed revolver. And it just sort of falls. Stub-nosed revolver just sort of falls in there where there is fire. Don't worry about it. Rest in peace, Snub-Nosed Revolver. You will be remembered. It's easy ways of getting rid of the gun. I mean, way number one, don't give him a gun. We could have just not had a gun. There was a gun in the box. Didn't have to be there. Yeah, it could have just not. At that point, big old bits of metal now come up and around him, forming an interior protective casing. They're sort of like modular slats of metal like this. This one has a viewing hole, which is nice. And they just sort of carry on around. What's this? Oh wait, music, stop it. I said play Grim Fandango. They're playing Sparks. Shut up. Hopefully that doesn't get a copyright strike. Hope everyone likes Sparks. Yeah, so this comes up and there's like gauges on the walls and more pipes, Chibi, more pipes going around. It's a big old mechanical thing. I think there's padding in this as well. There's like little padded panels just in case, you know. Well, after all this, it reminds me a little bit of the Wallace and Gromit Grand Day Out. Honestly, just thinking, I don't remember this from Grim Fandango, but yeah, sure. That's what I was thinking. I was like, hang on. Is there a song in this? No, it turns out it was Sparks. Internal structure of this lighthouse a mess. Yeah, it is. Anyway, then everything rumbles. It goes like that. And you look down, and that fire is now coming from the bottom of this protective thing, because you're going up. Any cylinder could be a lift. So yeah, you just see sort of outside your little viewing thing, you just go foom, and you just see going up through clouds, and a little voice says, like 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet. This isn't an elevator, this is a rocket. You're in a rocket. But you didn't think this would start with a rocket, did you? Not really, no. So yeah, I think it says something like ascension starting in 3, 2, 1, vroom, and then it gives you a sort of count up, I guess, of height. And Jack is not extraordinarily happy about this entire situation. And you're just like rocketing up through all these clouds.
Ah.
And if I do something like this, again, this is completely unnecessary for the purposes of visualization, but here we are. You can't stop me. Nobody can stop me. That's kind of how clouds work, right? Doesn't matter all that much. Because... is this going to work? Wrong way. That kind of works. Boom! Hey, look, it's a simple effect. It works. What's that triangle brush called again? I just got it. It was just called a pencil. It's called My Pencil, and whatever. I can't read kanji, so I can't tell you what it was originally called. But I downloaded it from. Hang on, let me. Called that. You want to look it up? It's free on Clip Studio stuff. So yeah. Yeah, so you're rocketing up. And the sky's moving past you. And the voice says 1,000 feet, 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet. Hang on, can I get this on a separate layer? That'd be nice. And then the clouds are whooshing past you, and they're going like that. And it's 3,000 feet, 4,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 6,000. I don't know how much. How high does it go up? How high is reasonable? I mean, given the story, there is no reasonable height. 12,000 feet, 13,000 feet from. Hallelujah! Welcome to Colombia. I remembered to do this 10 minutes before the stream. And you see before you a vista of a lot of just floating buildings, just up in the sky. Not even buildings, streets, boroughs. We went to heaven. They said hallelujah. And there does appear to be a big old angel statue in the background, but yeah. And you just see all these big floating 1920s American towns. Just sort of flying around, wibbling, wobbling, as they do. And you're just in this little rocket going, I don't know what's happening. Ah. And then obviously you need to come back down. Oh no! But then a parachute comes from the top of the thing and you slow down. It's 1918 and we're in a rocket. None of these heights are reasonable. Yeah, so that's our background now. Well, actually, hang on. Let me bring that back. And then get rid of that. That's our background. I planned a thing. That's it. That's all I've planned. So, what's on this layer? Absolutely nothing. Go away. Oh, hang on. That was the clouds. Who cares? Yeah, so we now arrive in the city in the clouds. Did you like Bioshock 1 that was set underwater? This is up. This one went up. It didn't go down. Isn't it? It's very clever. So you arrive in Colombia, and on your way down, you're greeted to even more scripture, this time written on the side of massive buildings. And I've forgotten all of it. Oh no, I guess there's some bits and bobs. I'll draw the next thing while I try and remember. We start to get. Oh no, hang on. There's something important. I should probably draw that. So on the way down, you sort of see a big old building, and you're just sort of looking at things engraved on the building. Apparently, they knew where you were going to fall. It's very precise, this whole thing, given that the city floats. Anyway, we died. End of story. Great Drawthrough. If only. So there's some stuff engraved on tablets or big old bits of metal. What did I say? Arrived in Colombia. Are we in the actual country of Colombia? We are in the flying city of Colombia. It is unrelated to any other Colombia. I don't know why it's called Colombia. If anybody knows a little bit about American history as to why it's called Colombia, that'd be great. What was the... Oh, right. Yeah, there's stuff written... I'm trying to remember. There's lots of bits and pieces. It stopped being generally religious and it's now being quite specific. about talking about a person. Something along the lines. I'm just gonna mishmash things from phrases I remember. And lo, that's always a good way to start. The prophet. Raised us. Or raised us. From the Sodom below. To his new Eden. That sentence is probably never said anywhere in the game, but it's a mishmash of sentences that are said. And then there's a big old picture of the prophet. Who I now need to draw. I'm not Gibbous. I guess you need to name him, don't you? There's a picture on there. It's done in this lovely painterly style. The assets in this game are extremely well made. All of the art is wonderful. He's got quite a big nose as well. But he has a big old bushy beard. But it's not bushy. It's very well maintained. He's a prophet. Got an image to maintain, you know. There's a new prophet? Oh, yes. One you must name. You can't have a Bioshock city without some figurehead there attached. Sure. Sticking with that style, apparently. He's a bit old. A bit aged. I think it's got like sort of... Jeff? Then I'm trying to think of it. What? I can't remember his full name in the game. I remember his surname. He's mostly referred to by his surname, so I'm perfectly happy with Jeff for the first. Unless Jeff could be the surname. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop you having Jeff as a surname. But Jeff. Okay, sure. Then there's like a mural and there's like the sun coming from behind because there's the prophet. I guess there's something like our prophet. Jeff Jefferson. Calling him Jefferson is going to get a little bit confusing. But only for this stream. So I'm perfectly happy to go with Jefferson. Yeah, our prophet. Well, let's do it like that. So if you hadn't already ascertained, one of the primary social motifs that this game is analyzing is religious structure. So, Our prophet, Lord Jefferson. Really? Hadn't noticed yet. It's subtle. If there's one thing you can say about Bioshock Infinite, is that it's subtle. It's got very white hair. Bright white. Angelically white. He looks quite grumpy here. He's supposed to look authoritative rather than grumpy, but in this picture he just sort of looks like hasn't had his mashed apple today. He's annoyed. I think they called him Lord in the game, don't they? Yeah, they do. Yeah. Lord Jefferson. That's going to go right through. We're just going to join these two together. Because my straight lines are not good. So yeah, you see this on the way down, you got lots of like pseudo-biblical verses. They're not actually biblical verses. They're clearly sort of referencing this world. You got a little bit lost in CSPSX again. Hello, welcome. We have Lord Jefferson, which is going to get slightly confusing. But again, only for a little bit of the game. I'll probably even forget to mention it, but whatever. Yeah, so this is just sort of on the side of a building as we're going down. Slowly descending in our parachute. Yeah, there's like a clock face or something. Why are you doing that? Right. And then we arrive. We land. Hallelujah. This guy seems fun. You know how this game goes. In fact, anybody who knows how a story goes should probably know that guy's not fun. Yeah, so we arrive and we get out of our weird thing. And we arrive. Is that background a little bit too? Hang on, I can make it a little less. Well, that's the other way. Opposite way, that way. That's a bit better. Don't want it to get in the way of the drawing. Tomato smile. I'm going to assume that this thing just has a parachute just sort of flopped over it. I don't know where else the parachute would go. Sorry, Dark, we're making you emote by proxy. Oh no, we're emoting by proxy. You are the proxy. We're making you an emote proxy. So here's the weird candy corn rocket that you came up in, apparently. Which annoyingly, I didn't bother to look at in my playthrough, so it looks like this now. Almost did mini beef, but tomato smile is more apt. They both work. I was thinking of replacing mini beef with something because it doesn't get a lot of use, and I feel like we could have a better emotes for using. Also, because of the way I have chat popped out, I don't actually have better Twitch TV, so I can't use them. But I could swap over to the Twitch panel and use it there, but whatever. Anyway, Jeff's a little shaken up by this whole thing. He's like, what's going on? I think, personally, quite understandably. Oh, I forgot my pot roof. I forgot about that. But obviously, being male video game protagonist, he's not exactly shaken. He's just sort of like, bland voice. Generic and... I feel like I shouldn't say generican, because this draw-through is already going to have quite a lot of... I'm not going to say criticism of America, but... There is a reason that the logo for this game has a burning American flag on it. Arguably, I guess if you actually look at what happens in the game, the America's kind of the good guys. But anyway. We'll get there. It's Wilma. Where's my gun? That's what he's thinking. If you're curious what he sounds like, by the way, his voice... Oh, is he voiced by Troy Baker? Ah, okay. Literally every male video game protagonist. That adds to the ubiquity. Out of interest, who is other character voiced by? Hate these bloody collars. Kind of hands work. Yeah, so we're in Columbia. Columbia, my lord. Courtney Draper. Okay, I don't know that one. Let's look that one up. That's fair. I just wondered if it was also somebody ubiquitous. I guess I can give you a choice now. There's a couple of things that you can learn here. Do you want to go to this man here who is standing in a puddle of water? I say a puddle of water, it's a carefully constructed thing of water surrounded by candles and stuff. Or do you want to go over here to I don't know what this is called, the shrine, which has like there's a whole room with like pews and things, and then there's like a thing here and a stained glass window. For some reason you thought it was Laura Bailey. Wasn't sure. Glad you looked it up. It's always good to look things up if you don't know the answers. I sure don't. Anyway, this place is quite grand. There's big columns and stained glass windows. Surprise, surprise, stained glass windows are a motif. Lots of candles everywhere. Just surrounding your thing for some reason. These are candles, by the way, I don't have time. There's water rippling away. Want to talk to Mr. Standing in Water? Can do. On close inspection, Mr. Standing in Water is a fairly old person, and blind. They have the sort of... I want to say they have the sort of milky eye sort of blindness. I don't know how I'm going to represent that in this style. Because my immediate thought is to do this. And that just looks kind of weird. Don't do that, sorry. He seems very happy, very convivial, very loud. You're welcome. I know you don't like ice stuff like that. Maybe a blindfold. I mean, it wouldn't make a difference, I guess. I was gonna say sunglasses. I don't think are a thing yet. Sure. He is also wearing, I'm pretty sure, vicarage garb, priest, dog collar, etc. Although it might be reversed? No. No, there's people around him that are wearing white. I think he's wearing black. But rockets are. Don't worry about it. Alternate universe sort of thing. Sunglasses were definitely a thing in the 1918s. I guess, like, I was just thinking, like, the modern version. I've seen, like, sunglasses that are designed to protect you from, like... Or glasses that are designed to protect you from, like, soot in railway stations and stuff like that. So I knew they had shady glass that you could put over your eyes and things. But I didn't know whether this idea of... the modern style of sunglasses is all. I guess I was being rather... what would you call presumptuous about the past? I was going to say modernist, but that's a thing, isn't it? It's not... Anyway, he's opening his arms to embrace you, my son. Are you ready to enter Columbia? To which Jack responds, yeah, sure. How do I get in there? And he says, silly man, there is no door to Columbia. In order to enter the gates of the sacred city, one must first be baptized in the waters of God. So yeah. Do you want to be baptized in the waters of God? Seems pretty insistent about it. Not glasses. Yeah. Do we have to? Well, he says we can't get into the city without doing it. Also, for what makes sense, we're literally on a flying city right now. Yeah, I mean, if we're going to get pernickety about the technology in this world, just you wait. And by just you wait, I mean I'll probably be able to get that before the end of the stream. With massive hands. He's not the handyman, we'll get there. We didn't really want to come here anyways. Kind of have to. we have to bring them the girl and wipe away the debt. Such is the only instruction we have received so far. Oh, and don't disappoint. Inuit tribes have had sunglasses for hundreds of years. Neat. I guess it's advantageous to have sunglasses in a place where the ground is white. It's probably an issue. Oh, fine. Are we getting baptized? We look so thrilled about it. Let's get baptized in God's pillar sink. This is a bit bigger than a pillar sink. He's standing in it. I don't know why I'm focusing on the things. Right, well, let's get baptized. Baptism time. So, okay, let me draw the thing. The sort of entrance is this sort of canal tunnel kind of thing leading from the font. Or I guess it's a font. To me, a font is like a standing thing, but I guess baptismal fonts can be stood in. They can be big enough for that. So yeah, you got this thing sort of going through a dark tunnel. And leading out into the light, because symbolism. There's going to be a lot of symbolism in this game. And then you've got the nice little ripply effect from the water. And also I can't be bothered to draw that many candles, so let's just do them. Well, that didn't quite line up, did it? Lots of candles everywhere, lots of fires. Massive fire hazard. Everyone's wearing robes. It's a problem. Big old columns. This is a big grand room. I should probably have mentioned that. It's huge. You can barely see the ceiling. It's not very well lit. And here we are, stuck in the middle with water. Anyway, so we go to the old man's arms, and he says something. I baptize thee in the name of the Lord, etc., etc. I don't know all the bitses and bobses, and let's face it, in this world it could be anything. And then he dunks her head underwater, as is tradition, as is baptism. And then, for reasons that I don't quite understand, we're pulled out, and we emerge, and the man says to a crowd of onlookers who are standing around these columns, I think he says, "I don't know. This one doesn't. What's the words? This one doesn't look clean to me." And then he pushes you under again. And he just sort of keeps doing this, and then you black out because you can't breathe. So he just drowns you, essentially. But he seems very happy about the whole situation. So, you know. You made an old man happy. So well done, you died. End of game. And baptism's like initiation ritual and not washing away your sins. You need to be more clean. Aren't cities meant to be on the ground? Welcome to Bioshock. Nothing makes sense. Bioshock games are metaphors, and usually poorly planned ones. But they're fun and goofy.
It's sealed up. I can't get through.
I guess this was our first locked door moment. Well, we had the thing with the code, but this is a like, oh, what do we need to get through this door? We need to be drowned. The second time we've died. Hallelujah. Yeah. Baptisms wash away the sins. I don't know enough about it. I have been baptized, but I don't know anything about it because that was basically the end of my interaction with that institution. Well, no, I did choir stuff when I was in primary school. I liked singing. Singing was fun. But yes, I'm not. I will not be. Almost every theme in this game, I am not an authority to speak about, which is why I wanted to do it as a draw through, so we could talk about it together. So yeah, there's a lot of religious themes. That's theme number 1. There will be at least 2 more that I am also not qualified to speak on. Cool. Well, we drowned. Meanwhile, everything's gone black and white. That's probably the whole drowning thing. We wake up in an office, a not particularly well-maintained office. And somebody's banging on the door. And they sound quite angry. And their voice is a bit distorted and weird. You were baptized as an infant, eventually had confirmation when you were a teen, but you don't know, they don't really mean anything. I'm sure they meant something to the person doing it, but I wish they were here to ask. So I was like, what does this mean? A lot of us seem to have had it, and we don't even know what it is. I'll give you a few things that you could look at here. Again, there was going to be choices in this draw through as to what you can look at and what you don't, because a lot of the storytelling is environmental, oddly enough. Although almost everything will eventually be told to you as we go along, but you might be able to learn things early. Who knows? You can look at the desk that we woke up by. You can look at the door being banged on, or you can look at the other door at the side of the room. How about that? Choose! Vote now! I can't remember how my voting thing works. So, and why am I not just doing straight lines? This would be a lot easier if I just did straight lines. I could also do it symmetrically. And get symmetrical straight lines, and then everything will work out. Um. Vote smooch. Seriously, desk sounds fun. Yeah, you can look on the desk. The desk contains some empty bottles and quite a lot of tickets for horse races, none of which won. So you might get a little bit of backstory. Also, I should specify this door has... hang on. I like the wording of that. Jack Walters, investigator of matters both private and public. And it's that way around, because we're inside. So yeah, we are a private investigator called Jack Walters. We're an investigator. I'll be honest, I forgot that until I played it again recently. I think that comes in more in the DLC. Again, we'll play that after we do the Drawthrough, because I haven't played that. It's not exactly... I don't think it's precisely a sequel, because it's set in a slightly different place, but we'll get to that. My handwriting is bad, even flipped. Actually, it would make more sense that it's bad when I see it flipped. That looks more like a D this way round than it does the other way round. There we go. Stop finicking. I always finick. I'm a finicker. Okay, you look at the door that isn't talking to you. There's another door in there. You can't open it. That's about it. Which leads to the door that is shouting at you. Did I mention everything's... It's locked. It's locked. I'll be honest. What I should have said is, guess why I said that? Oh, so you could use the lock thing. No, it's set up and payoff. But if there's a locked door, it's gonna be a thing. But not now. Okay, well then you go up to this door, because it's the only thing left to do. There's probably some other stuff in the room that I've forgotten about, but we'll get there. Yeah. So you go to this door, you open it up. What do you see? I wish I'd drawn this in advance. You see, I'm gonna say Manhattan. You see the skyline of a big old American city. This is like, is it the Empire? I don't know, big old buildings and skyscrapers and things. And you're just sort of floating above it. Because this is definitely reality you're in right now. Which is why all the voices are weird and everything's black and white. So yeah, you're just sort of above a big old city. Stuff's... People going about their lives in doing city sort of things. Is there a water? I don't know. I don't know where the horizon is. This perspective is messed up. And above it, you have another city. With all of its big old weird balloon things holding everything up. I should make this smaller. It's the city of Columbia, the flying city. What with the one in the clouds and such? This one has... I don't really know architecture. And there's also another bit over here. There's also flying. It's got buildings on it. And there's another bit. Also flying. Other bits on it. Lots of bits of Columbia all floating around this city. Also, minor detail, probably should have specified, the city is on fire. And actively being bombarded by Columbia. It's firing like rockets and stuff. Things are exploding. Again, I wish I'd drawn this in advance because this looks crap, but you get the idea. As you do. Yeah. It's not going great. Lots of big old explosion sounds and such. Carrot missiles, yum. They can see their targets in the dark. Yeah. I guess you get the idea. However messy this picture is. Basically, big old missile bombardment from above. No one saw it coming. Everything's exploding. Massive carrots are growing. It's scary times. And then a missile gets fired towards you. What a scrappy picture this is, but you get the idea. Got a little smiley face on it. And that's when you wake up. That was your hallucinatory drowning dream. And by you, I mean Jack. I need to stop saying you. I mean, you are playing the character, but again, this ain't no silent protagonist. He's got a lot to say and none of it's interesting. Any questions? Like I say, a lot happened in a short space of time. But that's just the game. So I'm quite happy to clarify anything that you could possibly know at this point in the game. Yeah, you have a question. Cool. What? What's when? I guess we're a bit wet now. Because, yeah. Yeah, we don't want to be Jack. That is, yeah. Pretty good summary of the game, really. We don't want to be Jack. Actually, that's a very good summary of at least one character in this game. We'll get to that. I like making these connections with Drawthroughs, as people say things and I'm like, oh yeah. Never thought about it like that. Who would have thought talking about things with other people get you to see things from different perspectives? I believe at this point Jack does make a quip about like that guy should learn the difference between baptizing and drowning. So he's behind us in terms of humor. Then again, he was unconscious and we weren't, so I can cut him some slack. Not much, but some. Anyways, so we come to regain consciousness. In the out pool, I guess. The little waterfall thing where we just came from. There's the tunnel. Nope. Auto mod. Crispy Parsnips used add blocked term, they're all dumb. Great. Add blocked? Oh no, I blocked it. No, I should have. Ah, bugger. Undo. Undo. Allow. Hang on. Allow. Blocked term. They're all dumb. Unrecognized command. Screw you. I'll sort it out after the stream. Oh dear. Actually, can I sort it out now? Moderation. Permitted terms and phrases. Blocked terms and phrases. Delete. Delete. There we go. It's fine now. You can say it again. You should be okay. I'm sorry. Now the only blocked terms that we have in this channel are big follows and bigfollows.com. I apologize. At least I didn't accidentally block you. I'm bad with stuff. I've only been doing it for 3 years. There we go. There we go. The truth can be said. You cannot silence the truth for too long, Twitch/me. Anyway, we wake up in the lovely garden. There's like butterflies all fluttering around. It's all very pretty. Big old contrast to Bioshock 1, where everything's just awful. It looks lovely, but it's awful. And there's like flowers growing in the bushes. Nope, here we are. Oh. I didn't even get to allow that one. Someone else got in there first. Thank you for not letting me make a stupid mistake. You like? Oh, that one was because you accidentally said ho instead of how. That was an accident, that one. Oh dear. You like how it's dumb Automod took offense to? I think it took offense to both, but they're all dumb was one of the things it stopped. Was it catching words that have been allowed before? I don't know. I went on there and it did say like this expires in an hour, and it's like, why don't you? If I allow something, keep it. Do I have to literally go in and every single time this happens, permanently add these things? I turned down how specific it was. Like, should be good. Oh dear. Anyway, one of the things that you see when you wake up in this garden are 3 statues. All sort of leaning down and handing you things. I think they're wearing robes, as statues tend to. because I'm lazy. Right. I'm gonna have to have some American friends in chat helping me with this. Who are the statues? One of them is, I'm pretty sure, Thomas Jefferson. Which is why the Jefferson thing gets a bit confusing. And he's got like little glasses, right? Also, you're gonna have to help me as to what these people look like. I think Jefferson had like hair like this. Also, I now have 2 chats up for some reason. Twitch is just a mess. Thomas Jefferson. I'm guessing George Washington is probably one of them. Thomas Jefferson is going to hold a big old key. How do hands work? Thumb would be there. Then George Washington. I don't know what George Washington looks like. Doesn't he have like sort of hair like that? I don't know. American friends, help. This is a very American-based game. A lot of American history is referenced. Washington, Franklin, and Jefferson. Cool. Benjamin. Oh, there's Benjamin Franklin. He should probably have the key. That makes more sense. Also, was that who I was thinking of with this? This might be Benjamin Franklin. Okay, that's Benjamin Franklin. I don't know. That's the founding fathers wore powdered wigs. We'll go with that. Wear one of those wigs. As the bit's going down. Probably. I've definitely seen pictures of George Washington and I just cannot remember at all at the moment what he looks like. If only he's got rollers in his hair. Nora Batty. It's just a statue anyway, it doesn't matter. But just know that they're supposed to be Franklin, Jefferson, and Washington. Not Hamilton. Hamilton's not in there. I'm going to have you smiling with a big old set of teeth, because I know you had something to do with teeth. What is this picture? This is awful. What have I drawn? I'm sorry, America. Okay, it's a little clearer what I'm trying to do here. No, you're gonna have your mouth closed. Oh, Hamilton raps in there? No, again, all I know about Hamilton, the musical, is a streamer I watch whose alerts on Twitch are parodies of Hamilton, usually about letters for reasons. So... yeah, so you would have... I don't know, I'm assuming this is Washington, so you're probably... Benjamin would have the key. No, Benjamin Franklin would have the key. Jefferson would have the scroll. Yeah, and Washington has the chewing gum. Got it. Which makes sense with the teeth. If you think about it. Kind of. If you think about it for a short amount of time, it makes sense. And then there's this one. Getting us a nice scroll. We managed in this stream to have a setup to a joke and a payoff over a 2-hour period. And I, for one, am quite pleased with that. Thank you. Definitely George Washington. Yeah, Washington was chewing gum, obviously, with those teeth, exactly. They didn't have sugar-free chewing gum back then, so it was really bad for you. Not dentist approved at all. So yeah, this is one of the first things you see, and then there's a set of steps leading up and out. Because it's nice to be able to leave places. Don't know about you, but when I'm in somewhere, I'd like to know I can get out. Kind of handy. And now we are in Colombia proper. And I might just leave it there, to be honest. I know a stream that's actually like 2 hours long. That's weird. Some stuff. There's a bit of a garden. Hasn't happened in a while. I know. I've been mainly trying to get games done quickly. So, and then we've got like the hangouts and stuff. It's like, no, there's every now and then I like to have an evening to actually do stuff. But yeah, no, this is a good because draw-throughs are quite intense of trying to get things down really, really quickly. It's like, oh my god, energy. Unprecedented, you could say. It's like misses in the room. Yeah, okay, well, we've come a long way since Lighthouse. Approximately 12,000 feet. Yeah. If you have any questions, let me know. This should all make perfect sense at this point. It sounded like Miss died. Rest in peace, Miss. Your puns were taken from you, and that was your life force. Rip, Miss. Rest in puns. You will be missed. That's Dark's face during all of this. Yeah, that is the beginning of the Bioshock Infinite draw-through. I hope it's goofy enough so far, because the not goofy stuff will get even less goofy, and the goofy stuff will get even more goofy. So, this is a game of extremes. I hope you're enjoying the extremes. Yeah. What bit are you looking forward to the most? I'm looking forward to working out how everyone's not like seasick on this very wobbly floating city. Airsick? Would you be airsick? I guess. It's just you know, balance sick, really. Yeah, I'm wondering how the plumbing works in the Cloud City. It just goes down. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Actually, do you know what? Keep that question in mind. How does the plumbing work in Cloud City? That is a good question. We'll get to that in about stream 3 or 4. Just these very long pipes. There's many questions, none of which are answered. The plumbing in Bioshock 1, that is a question that is very much talked about. In this game, less so. Yeah. Hope you're enjoying. Hope this is good. Let me know if you would rather the draw-throughs be moved to a weekday so that people who are doing RPGs on Saturdays don't miss it. Don't know. We'll probably have to move it. Well, this is the thing. When we move on to the draw-through after this, which is not really a draw-through, it's a collaborative drawing thing, I'd kind of want it to be on a day that everyone can do if they want to. So I don't really know when that would be. Sundays, maybe? I don't know. But then that will get in the way of friend draws. Who knows? Anyone under the city just has a very unpleasant day. Well, I'm guessing at the moment, well, from what we've seen, they have a very unpleasant day because they get bombarded with rockets. That was just a dream. It's fine. That was just a dream. That's me in the corner. You'd love for it to be moved to a weekday? What do you think about that? You're currently doing an RPG. Well, right now. What? It's text-based, right? Okay. It's text-based, no voice. Right? Okay. Well, you're still managing to pay attention to two different things is impressive. That's the lad of mine. Don't know why it takes a while long to do. Yeah, I can move this to Tuesdays or Wednesdays or something like that. We'll talk about it more tomorrow.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Let it shine, let it shine. Just carries on. Yeah. Thank you for coming along. Hope you enjoyed whatever this was, and I miss.
It's boarded shut. I'll need to find another way in.
Baptism, turns out. That's all Jack had to do. To get baptized. Opens a lot of doors. Yeah. Thanks all for being here. Enjoy yourselves. I'll be back tomorrow with friends, maybe. Depends who can come along and what they're gonna do. Doop doop. Doo. Hey, King Vader. Just get baptized. It's as simple as that. Have a grand old time, everyone. Thank you. Let me know things in general. What you want to do, what you don't want to do, what you want to see, what you don't want to see, etc., etc. Have a good time, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.